Hey everybody, it's your 14th health hack, and we've been absent for a couple of weeks. We had some extenuating circumstances going on. That's right, we're not perfect. I know that's a big shock, but I just want everybody to pray for my amazing marketing lady and her mother. I call her my love monkey, and then her mom is little mama bear. Sandra Daniels and Brandy Daniels is my amazing marketer. Just pray for them. They had a really, really close family member, without getting in too much detail, that was very dear to their heart, that passed away recently. So we were out of wraps because of that a little bit, because I can't tie my shoes and chew bubble gum at the same time without Brandy, pretty much, and Caden for that matter, and several other women, my wife, Dr. Cordie Williams, most importantly. But at any rate, so that was one reason. And then we were out of town. Going to Dynamic Essentials, which is an amazing seminar in Atlanta, Georgia that we go to every 3 months, that really helps us get back into our heart place and really discover and find what innate intelligence is. So we got a lot of exciting events coming up. November 2nd, we're doing an advanced healthcare class, and that is going to be on chemical stress. So it's going to be on like nutrients and paleo and ketogenic diets and what those mean and what they're like and what the differences are. And then we're also going to be talking about things that you need to look for in your subluxation support. Okay, and we're going to talk about what is subluxation support. Some of you guys are doing like the Scooby-Doo thing, right? You don't have to do that. We're going to explain it. It's November 2nd. That's a Thursday, 7:15 p.m. Is when the food will arrive. 7:30 we'll start the talk, and if you're there at 7:15, hey, you get food. If you're a minute or two after, you might snooze and you might lose, right? That's what happens because there's a lot of guys that like to take more than one plate, okay? I love my practice members, I'm just saying, guys. So we got to save for others, right? So 7:15 p.m., November 2nd, that's a Thursday. Mark it down right now. You're going to get newsletter blasts. You're going to get Facebook blasts by the fabulous Brandy, all sorts of stuff, and we will have flyers in the office, okay? So that's an important event to come and save lives and bring people to, because we're always saving lives, because when you share and you save a life, you increase your dopamine and serotonin, and you also bless people. You give people the opportunity to save their life without drugs and surgery. And that's like, I mean, gosh, can we do anything more like amazing than that? Save somebody's life and give them a chance to have 100% innate and inborn potential. So what I want to talk to you about today is chemical stress. So a little bit, not exactly what we're going to be talking about November 2nd. This is like a different type of chemical stress, because we're going to be talking about what you put in here, right, in your mouth on November 2nd. What I want to talk to you about is what you sniff, right, through the olfactory nerve, your little nosy, right? What are you taking in through your nose that you don't know you're taking in? Well, one of the things that recently, I actually had this happen today, and it really inspired me to do this health hack on this subject, is Glade plug-ins. Glade plug-ins and all those air fresheners that you're exposed to constantly. And so, you know, if you're taking an Uber, sometimes guys have like those little Christmas trees, and you know, they look really cute and they're nice and all that. And yeah, it smells great. But if you've got a clean system, and a system that is really guided by innate, or that intelligence within you, and your system is free and clear because you're not subluxated at the first bone, the atlas or brainstem bone, then you get into a car like that and you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? You feel like somebody just punched you in the face, you know, and that never feels good, right? So you're getting into the car and your world is kind of rocked, and the reason why your world is rocked is because your body recognizes those chemicals as foreign. That inborn potential inside of you recognizes those chemicals as not good for you. And when you hear that voice going on internally and your body's kind of like saying, uh-oh, I need to get out of here, you need to listen to that. Because what we know is when you think about health, I want you to think about health as a bucket. And I've said this several times before. I've talked about physical stress, we've talked about we've talked about emotional stress, but now we got to start really focusing on the chemical stress. When that bucket gets too full, if we don't empty that bucket, it's going to overflow. So part of the ways that you can empty that bucket, the most important thing is getting your nervous system aligned. 31, 42, and 0 are the parameters we're looking for from a nervous system standpoint and a curve correction standpoint. But what you can do on your own, and these are those lifestyle modifications, is make sure you're not exposing yourself to neurotoxins. Okay? And Glade plug-it-ins and some of these other companies producing these known carcinogens, you don't want it into your, you don't want it to go into your lungs. You don't want it to go into your nasal passages. You certainly don't want your children walking around, right? And little Cordie's touching everything these days, pulling things, yanking things, spilling stuff, throwing stuff. He loves throwing stuff. I'm like, buddy, that was like a really hard ball and you just threw it in my head. That hurt, right? But he doesn't know that. So what we don't want him doing, though, is touching the plugins. Because once he gets that on his hand, then he's going to touch his eyes, he's going to touch his nose, all sorts of stuff. But we don't want him inhaling it either. So let me kind of go over a couple of these ingredients here. I can't remember them all, and you know it's bad when it's like, right? When it sounds all weird like that, you know it ain't good, as Grandpappy used to say. So a Glade plug-it-in. 3-cyclohexylpropionate, say that 10 times. Allyl copronate, benzyl alcohol, butylated hydroxytrolamine, BHT, coumarin, dipropylene, glycol, ethyl hydroxypronin, I could go on, right? Like alphabet soup. Those are known carcinogens, and they're in Glade plug-it-ins. Now let's look at this for a second. Get out of there, you little rascal. So the EPA tested fragrances for chemicals in 1991 and found a list of the following toxic perfume chemical ingredients. So I'm not just talking Glade plug-it-ins, I'm talking anything you sniff in, right? So, you know, I get people in my office all the time and like literally their bodies are doused in like these perfumes, right? You can smell them like a mile away, right? And if the wind's blowing, it's even worse, right? So listen to this. Acetone, benzyl acetate, benzyl alcohol, camphor ethanol, right? Limonene, linolol, and methylene chloride. Okay, and if you're testing me on my pronunciation of that, okay, I think I was probably 80% accurate. Okay, that's very like in depth. If you're an organic chemist, or you know, if you did any type of molecular biology or anything like that, you're probably cringing right now. But at any rate, I tried my best. So, you know, we think about those chemicals though, and it's exactly what I'm going to say on November 2nd. If you can't spell it and you can't pronounce it, and there's a bunch of ingredients that really don't seem like they were from the earth, then you probably shouldn't have it at or near your body. And I really want you to think about that. It's a really simple concept, but I always tell people the most simple things out there are the most profound. And those are the ones you really need to use to guide you and lead you. Let's look at this now. 12 ingredients to avoid in makeup and skincare. You know, I was looking at this other thing earlier before I go to this, and it was talking about like there's whale sperm in some of these perfumes. Whale sperm. Now, I don't know much about nothing, but I know I don't want whale sperm on my body. It just doesn't sound, it's kind of weird, you know, a whale and then you got this stuff, and that's just weird. We don't want that on our body. And then there were other ingredients like that, right? Like, you know, a hoof from a deer, certain deer things, and then like rat pellets, like poop, basically, rat poop. You don't want rat poop, and now I'm going to spray it on my skin. Oh, baby, you look great. You smell wonderful. And you got rat poop on your neck. That's weird. Man. So, let's see here. Okay, here's a couple of them, and I'm going to try my best on the pronunciation, so you guys just, you know, you are blessed because we're going over this, right? Polyethylene, known as PEGs. You know, that's kind of like the acronym short term. Sodium lauryl sulfate, BHA, or oxybenzoin. Amphenol, diabatanese, phenyladamine. Coal tar is basically what it is. Yummy, coal tar, sounds great. Anything that says paraben in it. Triglycin and triglycarbin, retinol palmitate, retinol acetate, rhodonic acid, and retinol dibutyl phthalate, toluene, and formaldehyde. We know formaldehyde. I mean, if you didn't know the other 10 I just named, you know formaldehyde is a neurotoxin. Interesting enough, they put those in flu vaccines. Petroleum distillates and hydroquinone. Sodium lauryl sulfate is found in shampoos, body wash, foundation, face wash, mouthwash, and toothpaste. BHA is found in most things that you exfoliate your skin with and perfumes. And triclosan and triclocarbon is found in toothpaste, deodorant, and antibacterial soap. Okay? So I'm a firm believer in anything natural. Obviously, you can't be perfect. I always tell people there's so many carcinogens out there, guys, that we can't be perfect. I get that. But anytime you learn knowledge, you basically put yourself in kind of in a position where you can be proactive instead of reactive. And you know, I've talked about this a million times. I don't know about you, but related to my health, I want to be proactive. Because the medical community isn't concerned with rebuilding your health. They're concerned with managing your sickness, managing your condition, managing your disease. And when you start to get in that, you know, I call it kind of like a escalator or elevator, it starts taking you to places that you never imagined. I just met a lady at a screening event this past weekend. She had 5 failed digestive surgeries, and she didn't need a one of them. She didn't need a single one of them. Had the cause been detected of what she had going on, had she been checked by a holistic neurological chiropractor like what we do in this office and analyzed for subluxation. Nobody did that. Nobody knew. Nobody took the time. There's all these guys out there doing relief care, but nobody's doing corrective care. I had somebody come in today, right? And, you know, it was unfortunate. We started to help this lady, and, you know, she decided that she was going to move in a different direction. It's really unfortunate because what's happening to her is now she's going to somebody that does something called manipulation. And manipulation is totally different than a specific scientific corrective adjustment. The only person that can do a specific scientific corrective adjustment is a trained chiropractor. But more specifically, a neurologically based holistic chiropractor is the one that's going to be able to put that bone in the right place, get it back to 31, 42, and 0, so that innate